AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Cassie Spazzali.
I'm walking here.
Nope.
I'm walking here.
Nope. Got a new one.
Oh, I thought that was just for the, since she was wearing the shirt that day.
No.
Oh, I didn't
Cassie,
know that was
would you
permanent.
rather the I'm walking here, or would you rather Rep TV?
I mean, it really doesn't matter.
Cassie, I need an opinion. We do opinions here. Opinion.
We can
You know what I'm
Taylor
telling
Swift.
you? The last time someone was given this choice and said it doesn't matter, it was Muso. Cassie, you don't want me to do to you what I did to Muso all those years ago.
Can't confirm.
So thank you. I will benevolently give you one more opportunity to decide, because if you hit me with it doesn't matter, my goodness, are you going to get stuck with something awful?
Okay, we can stick with Taylor Swift.
Okay.
All right. I'll get it again.
There
Sorry.
it is. All right. Mr. Toby Tomplay.
Oh, yeah.
This is the most aggressive pot up ever. Okay.
I forgot about it.
You don't say. You forgot about something. Shot! All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Juwan Johnson that's LSU Juwan Johnson, not Saints Juwan Johnson. LSU Juwan Johnson in 12 minutes from right now. Mark Heim next hour. We'll talk some Bama, Kalen DeBoer, CFP, all that stuff. Matt McMahon in hour 3. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well. How do you do, Tyler Shough? The New Orleans Saints, my friends, have won games in 2 straight weekends, and we call that a winning streak. Or I guess back-to-back is what we would call that. One more, it's a winning streak. It has been done before. Saints beat the Panthers 20-17. We are all going to say the same thing today, but it looks like New Orleans has found their quarterback. Dare I say it? And just like if you were to hop in the DeLorean, crank that thing up to 88, go back to the beginning of this season, or you could just go to YouTube or podcast, listen to any of our shows from the beginning of the season. I repeated over and over and over and over again that I was not going to overreact to losses because I was not expecting this team to win many games. I was not going to yell and get here on Mondays and red-face rant when the Saints lost games because I just expected them to lose a lot of games. I picked them 5-12. I think a lot of people probably picked somewhere similar around there. So it would be disingenuous of me to pick the team 5-12, not expect much of them to sit here and yell about it. What I wanted to see was growth and cornerstone pieces for the future. So similarly, I'm not going to sit here today and throw a ticker tape parade and coronate Tyler Shough as the next great Saints quarterback. But while I'm not going to allow myself to be prisoner of the moment with a 4-10 football team, I will sit here and say Tyler Shough has shown playmaking ability that has elevated the team. And that's what we were all looking to see from either Shough or Rattler this year. That did not happen with Spencer Rattler. I'll say again, I don't think Spencer Rattler cost the New Orleans Saints games. He just wasn't making plays late to elevate the team. We have seen Tyler Shough now in consecutive weeks lead game-winning touchdown drives. By the way, That's the first time that a New Orleans Saints quarterback has led the team to back-to-back game-winning drives since Drew Brees did it in 2020, his last season as the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. You're down 17-10 in the fourth quarter. Boom, 7 plays, 78 yards, touchdown. Your defense gets a stop. You get the ball back, chance to win it. 8 plays, 62 yards, boom, game-winning field goal. By the way, the play of that drive was the design draw by Shough, where he also drew the unnecessary roughing penalty, where he certainly flopped, but it was still a penalty nonetheless. Very heads-up play. That's consecutive game-winning drives now for a New Orleans Saints quarterback. And, by the way, our buddy Jeff Duncan from NOLA.com with this little beauty of a tweet. I'd love to know what Mickey Loomis has to say about this. Tyler Shough already has as many victories against team with a winning record as Derek Carr did in 2 seasons with the Saints. Tyler Shough has 2 wins of his 3. He's 3-3 in 6 games as a starter against teams with a winning record. Derek Carr had 2 in 2 years as the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Tyler Shough continues to impress and show his growth. And it's, again, I'm not just looking at a stat sheet. I'm looking at how in key moments in the game on Sunday, Shough threw for 272 yards. 162 of the 272 and the touchdown came in the fourth quarter. He is finding ways late to elevate and win games. Shough is going to be the story, rightfully so. There was a lot from this game that's worth talking about. How about the New Orleans Saints' defensive improvement? Can we talk about that for a second? The New Orleans Saints currently are 11th in the NFL in total defense. I'm going to give a hat tip to Jimmy Ott on this. I was listening to him earlier today. We would all unanimously agree the best defense in the NFL right now is the Houston Texans. Not only are they statistically the best defense, you just eye tested. They are the best defense in the NFL. In the last 5 games, the New Orleans Saints defense in yards per game allowed is 2 yards behind the Texans. They're basically the same as the Houston Texans over the last 5 games. That's incredible. It's a tremendous credit to Brandon Staley and what he's done with that defense. Obviously, we had Scott Shanley with us last week, and he sort of explained how functionally what they're doing defensively in more of a 3-4 look, how that takes time to learn the concepts and different things like that. And you're starting to see that bear fruit even with no talent no elite level cornerbacks, without Justin Reed at safety, who was your high price free agent acquisition, with a very old Cam Jordan, with Chase Young, who missed the first 4 or 5 games, 4 or 5, I forget. A lot of because they didn't put him on short-term IR. I mean, it's pretty remarkable what you're seeing this defense do without star power. I mean, aside from Demario Davis, there's nobody on that defense that would even contend for any type of Pro Bowl or All-Pro recognition. So that is super encouraging. What might that look like when they actually draft and spend in free agency to get him pieces that can work? Your offensive line stinks. Think about this. You won this game. Tyler Shough won you this game behind an offensive line that allowed 5 sacks. You had 81 rush yards on 25 carries. Oh, by the way, your offensive line committed 9 penalties. 3 on Banks, 3 on Fuaga, 2 on Fortner, 1 on Raduns. Your offensive line is atrocious. I mean, like, booty, awful. And you've won back-to-back games. I mean, even more impressive for Tyler Shough right there. I loved that drive in the second quarter that took up darn near the entire second quarter. The longest drive the New Orleans Saints have put together, they mentioned this on the television broadcast, since at least 2020. Since at least 2000. 25 years. Jim Hazelate. Hakeem drops the ball. 17 plays, 95 yards, 11:22 off the clock. Like, if you have a moment and want to go check out the play-by-play, that drive had just about everything on it. You had a false start from Fortner. You thought that would cost you. You convert a 3rd and 13 with Devon Vele. Then on first down, you give up a sack. Then there's offsetting penalties. Then there's a 5-yard penalty for illegal use of hands against the defense. So you get a first down. You end up with a penalty for holding on Juwan Johnson. So then you're sitting there at 1st and 20. You get 7 yards. Then a 5-yard penalty on Fuaga. It's 2nd and 18. You end up getting a 17-yard completion to Devon Vele. It's 3rd and 1. You convert with Devin Neal on a short run. Then you end up getting a 15-yard run by Neal. Run, pass, run. There you go. It's 4th and 1. They go for it. Tyler Shough carries, gets the first down, and then a 4-yard touchdown run. You even add a very improbable 6-yard completion to Juwan Johnson where the ball was deflected, darn near intercepted, and he came up with a 6-yard reception. Again, that drive had just about everything, but you just continue to find ways to move the football with Tyler Shough. And then also, how about Devon Vele, who was he was a punchline through the first 10 games of this season because he had like 7 catches through 10 games after you traded a 4th-round pick for him, and now he's been your best receiver over the last 3. I understand Chris Olave ended up as the leading receiver because he had 5 catches in the 4th quarter, but I think Chris Olave's day could just as well be defined by the drop he had on the first play of the game-winning drive as the touchdown on the previous drive. Olave continues to make the easy catches and not make the spectacular catches. I don't know if you know this, but Chris Olave is 5th in the NFL in targets. Let me say this slowly. There are only 4 receivers in the entire NFL with more targets than Chris Olave. It would stand to reason that if you are that high in the NFL in targets, then you should be at the top of the list in receptions and receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. Chris Olave is not. He is 11th in receiving yards. As a matter of fact, he's at 896. When you look at targets, everyone ahead of him and the 2 behind him all have over 1,000 yards already. The bottom line is they keep forcing the ball to Olave because there's no one else to force the ball to, and even still he underwhelms. He is not a number 1. He never will be a number 1. He could be a very good number 2, but you cannot pay Chris Olave like a number 1 receiver. He is not. Devon Vele is proving to be, I would say, even more effective because of his ability to go over the middle, a big target, and he continues to catch double-digit yardage receptions. So maybe a nice complement there with Olave and Vele, but you are still lacking the true number 1, take the game over, a dynamic playmaker, and I think you got to go get that guy in the draft. But the best news of all of this is the hardest thing to find in all the conversations we're having, the hardest thing to find is your quarterback. And it looks like you've answered that question, at least to where you're confident enough moving forward with Tyler Shough to build around and see if you can build a contender around Shough instead of going into the draft in April thinking you have to swing again, take another cut at a quarterback. Feels like you got your guy. 3 games to go for the New Orleans Saints. 3 more opportunities to watch Tyler Shough continue to grow, develop. Saints, by the way, are a 4-point home favorite this week against the Jets. A lot of people who are holding those Saints under 5.5 win total tickets on the season thought you were just going to absolute rocking chair, walk that thing to the window. Might be holding your breath a little bit right now. Saints are 4-10. Jets, Titans, Falcons remain for New Orleans. All right, it's after further review. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, official beer of the New Orleans Saints. Matter of fact, I was at the grocery store this weekend. Got me a suitcase of Bud Light, and I got these Saints cans, black cans with the gold fleur-de-lis. You can pick them up at your favorite retailer. If you're going to be in the Dome, get your foam in the Dome. Make sure it's a delicious ice-cold Bud Light. Our friends over at Mockler, great supporters of all the local teams. The Tigers, the Saints, McNeese, Southern. Make sure you drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the Tigers and Saints. Okay, let's knock out a quick break, y'all. When we come back, I guess current and soon-to-be former LSU Tiger, Juwan Johnson, is going to join the show. Looking forward to this conversation. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
We're heading toward the holidays, and it is not too late to give your family the best gift you could possibly imagine. How about you put in a pool? Moscona can't afford that. Duplessis Builders makes it possible. Listen, it doesn't matter what you're looking to do. Duplessis can build you the big, gorgeous resort-style pool, custom everything. Go look at their Instagram, you'll see. I mean, amazing palatial pools, outdoor kitchens, all of it. They also have crews that, if you go to the website, you'll see there's the Pick Your Pool tab. There's 11 different designs where you can pick your design on the website right now. You choose the finishes, colors, finishes, features, all that sort of stuff. And then, boom, you can even pay for it on the website right now. They have financing available as well. And then, boom, you're on the schedule. It's DuplessisBuilders.net. Check it out, DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
They'll hand it off. Johnson breaks away to his left, stays upright at the 5, and finds his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers. 10-yard score for Johnson.
One of the more versatile, dynamic players to come through LSU in quite a bit, but he's going to finish his college career elsewhere. LSU, defensive back, quarterback, running back, slash, all of it. Juwan Johnson, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Hey, Juwan, we appreciate the time, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing awesome. Thanks so much for making the time today. We saw the report last week that you made the decision to go into the transfer portal. Let's just start there. When did you make up your mind that you were going to leave LSU?
I did it around last week, 2 weeks ago.
And what ultimately were the deciding factors? Why did you choose to go into the portal?
I just felt it was time for me to find new opportunities for myself, make new opportunities for myself. I felt as if at LSU, I learned a lot with the coaches and also my teammates, and I just wanted to show my talent to the world in a new way, in a new spot.
You know, I when we let in with you there, I said, you played defensive back and running back and quarterback, and I think everybody here is pretty familiar with your story right now. What's it like being asked to do not only so many different things, Juwan, but mid-season as well, the position changes that you went through? How would you describe what that was like for you?
It was a difficult challenge. It was definitely difficult. I feel as if it was made easier for me though at LSU. I feel the coaches, like I said, they were great coaches, and it was people around me that helped me to grow in each and every position that I played. But it was definitely a difficult thing going week by week, changing position.
Yeah. If you go back to a year ago when you were a freshman, you came in to be a defensive back, and then they kind of quickly moved you to running back after John Emery had his injury. Do you think about what it would have been like had you stuck at defensive back? Like, is that something that maybe you would have liked to have done during your career here?
I definitely think about that all the time, just having the ability to do both, all of them actually. I always think about every position. What if I just stayed at quarterback coming out of high school? What if I stayed at DB going into college? Like, I think about every position. But at the end of the day, that's all I could do is go forward from now. So I'm just ready to move on. Yeah.
Why were you so willing to change positions when it probably was a hindrance? I think it's fair to say it probably was a detriment to your progress having to change so much. Why were you willing to change positions?
Sure, I love LSU. I love being there. I love playing there. I love the fans and everything that come with. So, I just felt like if I want to get on the field as soon as possible, that's what I have to do to get on the field, and that's what I wanted to do that.
Juwan Johnson is our guest. A guy who everyone who loves Louisiana high school football is familiar with, set state records for yards and touchdowns. By the way, do you ever sit back and think about that, Juwan? Like 14,000 yards, 170 touchdowns, like how ridiculous that is?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm blessed for sure.
Hey, have you had a chance, before you made your decision, did you have a chance to talk to Lane Kiffin or any of the new staff members?
I talked to Coach Frank and my coach from this past season, Coach Carter Hankton. I really haven't got the chance to talk to Coach Lane Kiffin or any of the new staff yet, but I'm looking forward to. If they were
to ask you, and I don't know, I mean, you would, I don't know if they would, but like if they were to ask you to to stay. Is that something that you would consider?
It's everything's still in the cards for me, honestly. Like I said, I love LSU. Like, I love being there. So if it was an opportunity and they ask me to stay and they give me the opportunity and the blueprint that I may like, then it is a strong possibility that I might stay. But right now, I'm just looking for the best opportunity for myself to go show my sadness to the world. That's it.
What would that, ideally, Juwan, what would that position be for you? Like, another way to say it is, what position do you want to play?
That's a question I've been asking myself a lot lately. Really, it's anywhere for me. Honestly, I really just love genuinely playing the game of football. What I think that I might end up playing is running back, because that's the most experience I have in college football right now is playing at running back. But honestly, whatever the best opportunity is for me to play, like if I feel in my heart is the best opportunity for me to play at quarterback or receiver or at DB, that's what I'm gonna do. It's just whoever the best opportunity is for me.
Some guys just love to play quarterback. They want the ball in their hands. Like, is that something like you? I know you said whatever the best opportunity is. Is that something you kind of long to do to play quarterback again?
Having the ball in your hands is it's a dream come true. Every play at that, that's a dream coming true. So obviously, I still love it. Like, I still have dreams about it. I still go watch my old high school highlights and even spring ball highlights from when I was playing quarterback at spring ball at LSU. So yeah, it's definitely a thing that I feel like everybody wants the ball in their hands at every snap, every game. Like, that's just competitors, us as competitors as football players. But like I said, whatever comes to me, whatever God bless me with, whatever God has for me that will come to fruition.
By the way, he's on Twitter or X at Juwan Johnson 7. Go give him a follow, because I saw last week. It was one of the reasons I reached out to you, because I saw last week whenever you kind of like you quote tweeted one of your like an old football highlight video, and you said soon. So I was thinking that maybe that meant you were looking for an opportunity to go play quarterback somewhere, which would be fascinating. But you mentioned playing any position. What have your conversations been like with Coach Frank since the regular season ended to now about making that decision to go into the portal, and what he's told you?
Coach Frank has been nothing but a blessing to me, honestly, in my life and as a football player. The way he just talks to us and gets us through situations in our lives is incredible. Like, I'm very blessed to have Coach Frank as a coach. And he just gave me wise words. He just gave me knowledge to what I was going to do. It's at the end of the day, the decision was made by me. Like, it wasn't nobody else's decision. It was my decision to hit it. But when you go to people like Coach Frank and other coaches, even around the staff, and you ask questions like that, the best thing you can ask for is just advice and wisdom on it. And that's what I got from Coach Frank.
A couple more minutes here with Juwan Johnson. You also did put out on social media that you do plan, even though you plan to go in the portal, that you're going to play in the bowl game. Why?
Mm-hmm. I just feel like it was time. I had to finish with my team. I started with them, my college journey, and at the end of the day, like, I got to finish with them. We got a strong thing in the running back room. We call RBU. That's what we call it. That's what we call us. That's what we call each other. So at the end of the day, like, we got to stick together. Even if I might be leaving and I might not. It's just whatever it is. I got to stick together and with the team, and I got to keep going with them.
How's bowl practice been going so far? I think y'all are 3 in, right? 3 bowl practices in?
Yeah, we three bowl practices in, yeah.
How's it going so far?
Oh, it's going great. Great vibes, great energy. We know that, you feel me, I was the last one of the season, so we got to keep on growing. We got to keep on going and keep on, just trying to finish out the season as strong as we can, get a W, and win it for the LSU fans.
Juwan Johnson, LSU defensive back, quarterback, running back, does just about everything, and going to hit the transfer portal. We'll see what the future holds. Of course, a lot of people here will be pulling for you, whether it's in the purple and gold or anywhere. Juwan, we appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thank you for taking the time. Good luck, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate you.
It's our pleasure. It is Juwan Johnson joining us here for a couple minutes on AFR. We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems, arco.com, A-R-C-C-O, arco.com, arco.com. This is Generac Industrial Generator Power. You know, today's a great reminder. You wake up, it's 26 degrees in Baton Rouge. I mean, sub-freezing temps. Sometimes, as we've seen with snow and ice and freezing temps, it can knock the power out. You got to make sure that your business remains online. Like, what happens to your business if power goes out? Well, with Arco Power Systems, you have that peace of mind. This is Generac Industrial Generator Options. And everything is turnkey. They can install your standby generator for your business. They can rent you that generator. They can service it for you as well. And it doesn't matter where you are, from Baton Rouge, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio, north to Little Rock, and everywhere in between. Just draw a big circle. If you're in that footprint, Arco has a location near you to serve you. Arco.com, A-R-C-C-O, Arco.com, Arco.com, A-R-C-C-O, Arco.com. Appreciate Juwan Johnson for a couple of minutes. We talked about it a bit last week when Juwan made the announcement to go in the portal. My assumption was that he was leaving for an opportunity to go play quarterback somewhere. He didn't seem like that was a hard and fast decision that he's made. Just wants, to leave his options open, which I think is a really good reminder that, all the guys that go in the portal, it's not necessarily that they're just determined to leave. It's about leaving your options open for what could be out there. Now, the danger, I use that term loosely, that's probably not the best word. The risk that you run is you enter the portal and potentially give up your seat at your current place, and there isn't a better option somewhere else, and maybe you don't have the spot. Now, a guy like Juwan Johnson is talented enough that he'll land somewhere and have a great opportunity to get on the field. But is it at quarterback? Is it at running back? Is it at defensive back? We'll see what the future may hold. It's going to be about being in the right position. It's hard to imagine, though, especially when you think about LSU right now with 2 scholarship running backs, just Durham and Berry, and you bring Lane Kiffin's offense here. It just feels like there'd be a lot of opportunity for success for a lot of different guys in that offense. So we'll see what happens with Juwan Johnson, but we appreciate a couple of minutes for him there. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Our Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Windows door siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters too. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC, and a gigantic honor today for one LSU defensive player that we'll discuss when we come back at AFR.
AFR.
R-E-V. Let's rev, y'all. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. Let's rev.com. R-E-V. Hey, of course, you have to have internet, but if you want internet, cable, home automation, home security, all of that sort of stuff, Rev does it all, and they do it with the backing of a local network. Rev has been around for 90 years serving our local communities, and I love that we're talking about lightning-fast internet speeds up to 5 gigs. Who do you currently have your internet with? Who's your internet service provider? Are you happy? Do you think that they're responsive when you have an issue? Is their service reliable? Is it fast? Do you have issues where your internet goes out and then you can't get anybody on the phone? You don't have to worry about that with Rev. Local call centers, local service, 5 gig internet speeds, all fiber network buried under the ground. They're local. Let's Rev. Let'sRev.com.
After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And we do shutters too.
Second down, goal to go from the 9. They'll toss it towards the end zone, and it is intercepted. LSU takes it away. Mansour Delane with the INT.
Mansour Delane, one of his many highlights here in his lone season in Baton Rouge, and he has made a forever-type impact. Announced here on Monday that Mansour Delane named a first-team AP All-American at cornerback. So for context, this should never be lost. I feel like we throw around very loosely who is an All-American. we sometimes know that players are named preseason All-Americans, and sometimes they're postseason All-Americans, and sometimes it's different organizations that award them, and sometimes it's first, second, third team. In the history of LSU football, okay, and the Associated Press started naming an All-American team 100 years ago. So this year, so 1925. So 2025, this year, is the 100th AP All-America team. So 100 years of AP All-Americans. In 100 years, Mansour Delane is just the 37th LSU player ever to earn first team AP All-American honors. That is remarkable. It is very, very hard to be a first team AP All-American. You basically have to be the best player at your position in the country to earn those honors. Will Campbell did it a year ago. In 23, Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors were both there. But when you look at defensive backs, only nine LSU defensive backs in the history of the program, now including Delane, 9 in history, have been AP first-team All-Americans. Derek Stingley, Grant Delpit, Mo Claiborne, Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Peterson, Craig Stelz, Tommy Casanova, and then LaRon Landry. And now Mansour Delane. 9 ever. What a remarkable honor for Mansour Delane, who came here with the eye of being part of a championship team to join DBU. Brian Kelly said it at the time that he felt like they signed the best defensive back in the transfer portal, and Mansour Delane lived up to every bit of it. And I know as we get closer to the draft and you go through combine and all that stuff, I know Mansour Delane isn't going to play in the bowl game, as Frank Wilson's already stated, but we're going to learn more about the injury that he had. And as we mentioned, he missed the Western Kentucky game. He's not going to play in the bowl game because of that abdominal injury. But I mentioned here that his dad told me it was the Monday of the press conference before Oklahoma. I was walking into football ops for Frank's press conference, and Mansour's father was walking out. They had a meeting, agents and all that sort of stuff. It was all that stuff. And he told me that he's actually had that since fall camp. So you're talking about a dude that played this entire season at cornerback with a core injury. He was the best cornerback in America. Remarkable season for Mansour Delane. It's one of those things where you sure wish the team results had been better, but there were some amazing individual stories this year for LSU football. Mansour Delane might very well be at the top of that list. So congrats to Mansour Delane, just the 37th first-team All-American in the history of LSU athletics. First-team AP All-American in the history of LSU athletics. All right, it is at LSU football. It is after further review brought to you by Shaw-Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Hey, we're getting close to the Christmas holiday. If you're going to be hitting the road with your family, if you have family in other parts of the country and you're driving to see them for Christmas, or they're coming here in their vehicle before they head home or before you hit the road, make sure you bring your vehicle to Shaw-Bills. There's locations all over South Louisiana, so you can find the location nearest you. You can schedule service online. You can shop tires online. You can see all their promotions online. Just make sure you check out the website. It's the easiest way to do it. Go to ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Like you see it right on the homepage. There's a schedule service tab. There's a shop tire or find tires tab. There's the promotions tab at the top. You hit the promotions tab, and it'll drop down and tell you every promotion that they have going on right now, how you can find the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. It's ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. That's Shaw-Bills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
One of the biggest names so far has declared for the transfer portal. It's Florida quarterback DJ Lagway. Reports are that he has opted to enter the transfer portal, of course. Lagway on social media post, "I'm truly grateful for the opportunity to have been part of such an incredible program at the University of Florida. After much prayer, reflection, and thoughtful consideration, I've decided to enter the transfer portal." Former top 10 overall prospect in the country. He started this past year at Florida. It's been underwhelming. Billy Napier fired. John Sumrall coming in as the new head coach. But Lagway is going to seek an opportunity elsewhere.
The Missouri Tigers.
Mizzou offensive coordinator Kirby Moore has been hired by Washington State, so he's out after 3 years as Missouri's offensive coordinator. Was hired prior to the start of the 2023 season. Moore, it's worth noting, grew up just 167 miles from the Washington State campus.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Offensive coordinator Joey Housel signs a 2-year contract extension with a pretty big raise. He's going to go from $600,000 to $1.45 million after the job he did this year with Joey Aguilar as the the SEC's leading passer in 2025.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky's hiring Tony Washington as a defensive coach. He's out of Ohio State. He's expected to coach the defensive ends and outside linebackers. Washington has worked with pass rushers at Ohio State, UCLA, Oregon, and Nebraska.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Kalen DeBoer updated a couple of injured players in advance of the playoff game Friday at Oklahoma. Tight end Josh Cuevas making progress. They're optimistic about his availability. Defensive end L.T. Overton is doubtful to play against Oklahoma. Jam Miller participated on Monday, making good progress. They're not sure yet if he'll be able to play against OU.
The Texas Longhorns.
Third-year Texas linebacker Leona Lafau intends to enter the transfer portal when it opens on December the 2nd. Started 23 consecutive games for the Longhorns. He's played in 40. Sorry, buzzed the tower right there. He's a Hawaii native. Started all 12 games this year for Texas, and he has 1 year of eligibility remaining.
The Auburn Tigers.
And Auburn's Keldrick Falk has declared for the NFL draft. Junior defensive end is a projected first-round draft pick. He started 32 games at Auburn with 10 sacks, 19.5 TFLs. There you have it. That is Around the SEC. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Remember, if you need windows, doors, siding, shutters too, you need Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, where they boast a true lifetime transferable warranty. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all, it's AFR. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on this Monday edition. They did hand out a Heisman Trophy over the weekend. Got some thoughts on that. As we just mentioned, Bama with some pretty key injuries still. One thing we're going to do each day this week, leading up Friday, is when the first round of the college football playoff starts. We're going to give you a thumbnail preview of all the SEC teams. So Mark Heim will be with us in about 16 minutes from WNSP in Mobile. Also, AL.com covers Alabama. So we'll look at not only Bama, the Bama-OU rematch on the field, but we'll get Mark's thoughts on all the Kalen DeBoer conversation. If you missed it over the weekend, DeBoer released a statement pretty emphatically. I would label this very much a denial from Kalen DeBoer about interest in the Michigan job. So we'll get to that with Mark Heim again in about 16 minutes from right now. Let's knock out a quick break. It's AFR.
After further review.
Holidays are just about here. If you got family, maybe choosing to make a last-minute pit stop through the Baton Rouge area, remember Watermark and Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown, two amazing hotel properties. If they need a place to stay, of course, Watermark is the picture of luxury. Voted by you the best hotel and the best of 225. Renaissance is right there on Bluebonnet near I-10, so it's right in the heart of the city. Easy access to everything. I mean, you get off the Bluebonnet exit of I-10, it's, I don't know, a quarter mile from the exit, if that even. And it's got everything that you need. Gorgeous guest rooms. It's got Tallulah, which is a great place to have casual upscale dining experience. The terrace is an indoor-outdoor flow. If you want that bar feel, indoor-outdoor, maybe stay inside when it's 27 degrees like it is right now. All the amenities. And, of course, if you're looking to host an event in 2026, remember Watermark and Renaissance. It's Watermark and Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
The winner of the 2025 Heisman Trophy is Fernando Mendoza.
You know, it's by the way, congratulations to Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman Trophy. It felt like a foregone conclusion after Indiana beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. If something is close, oftentimes things like that'll tip the scale. But just kind of as an illustration of sometimes you're just either the beneficiary or the victim of circumstance in life. Fernando Mendoza this year has thrown for 2,900 yards and 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had an outstanding season. Indiana's undefeated. They're 13-0. He is projected by many to be the first pick in the upcoming NFL draft. And it's really outstanding. I mean, considering he played the last 2 seasons at Cal, transfers to IU, and it worked. It hit, and he wins a Heisman. But just for context, Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman Trophy throwing for 2,980 yards, 33 touchdowns. Bo Nix was the runner-up to Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix, as the runner-up, threw for 4,508 yards and 45 touchdowns. Bo Nix's season in 23 as the runner-up lapped Fernando Mendoza. But Bo Nix just happened to be playing in the same year that Jaden Daniels had one of the most iconic seasons ever. Run, pass, efficiency, total touchdowns, yards accounted for, total offense. It was incredible. I mean, Jaden Daniels set records that we may not see touched. It sucks for Bo Nix, but it's a reality of what happens. This year, there wasn't a real clear-cut no-doubter. And as a result, you had a lot of voters, I think, going into that final weekend looking for something to tip the scales one way or another. And Mendoza leading the game-winning drive against Ohio State and winning the Big Ten championship was the thing that ultimately, I think for many voters, tipped the scales toward voting for Mendoza. And in that game, he only threw for 222 yards, a touchdown and a pick, 5 carries for -3 yards. It wasn't like he was awesome, but he made sort of Heisman moment defining plays late. Ultimately, that won it for him. So congratulations to Fernando Mendoza just by all accounts, an outstanding young guy, like easy to cheer for, right? Like when he, I loved when he spoke Spanish to his grandparents. This was his message to his mother when he pointed out his mother, his father, and his grandparents. This is what he said to his mother.
Mommy, this is your trophy as much as it is mine. You've always been my biggest fan. You're my light. You're my why. You're my biggest supporter. Your sacrifices, courage, love, those have been my first playbook and the playbook that I'm going to carry through my side through my entire life. You taught me that toughness doesn't need to be loud. It can be quiet and strong. It's choosing hope. It's believing in yourself when the world doesn't give you much reason to. Together, you and I are rewriting what people think is possible. I love you.
He had his notes. He had his notes ready. But, a lot of people came away from that thinking this was very sort of like, sort of resembled sort of a politician. I mean, very like politically savvy, like acceptance speech. But a great, I don't in any way mean for that to sound cynical, like very polished and I think very easy to cheer for. So if he is, in fact, the number 1 overall pick in the draft coming up in April, someone's going to get a player that's going to be a great representative of their organization, their team, their city, whatever the case may be. So an outstanding, by all accounts, an outstanding young guy in Fernando Mendoza, who came relatively out of nowhere from obscurity at Cal to going to Indiana, the losingest program in the history of major college football, to lead him to an undefeated season, winning the program's first Heisman Trophy and the number 1 seed here in the college football playoff. I'm going to be fascinated in this year's college football playoff to see if the trend from a year ago continues. Remember, all 4 teams last year that had the bye, all 4, the top 4 seeds that had the bye, all lost in their quarterfinal game. I'm going to be fascinated to see if that trend repeats itself. If the teams because we're all learning this system and what the benefits are and how it's all going to play out at 12-team. Like, was it just the way the matchups played out? Was it the fact that the teams that had the bye sat for a month before playing? It's going to be almost 4 weeks from the teams that played in the conference championship weekend that get a first-round bye. It'll be almost 4 weeks from conference championship to first-round playoff game. So, Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, are those teams ready to roll? We'll see. And Fernando Mendoza has the whirlwind of the Heisman tour of the week leading up to the Heisman, and then obviously what happens after it when you start doing all the media blitz and everything. So it can be a distraction. We'll see how Mendoza handles this as the number 1 seed Hoosiers will sit and wait until the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day when they'll play an opponent TBD, but they'll play in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day in a quarterfinal game. All right, it's After Further Review. We are brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Hey, look, holidays are just about here. If you're heading to a Christmas party, a holiday party, for your office, for your family, whatever the case may be, Rouse's has everything you need. If you need to grab a bottle of wine to bring, they can do that. You need to bring a dessert, grab and go in their bakery for any like cakes or desserts or pies. They got it covered for you. Maybe you just need to go make that grocery run. Rouse's can help you do that as well. Complete holiday meals with great recipes and other options like that available for you at the website. You can get to Rouse's.com and see everything they have available. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. Speaking of the college football playoff, y'all, it'll be Alabama-Oklahoma on Friday in Norman, a rematch. The next 4 days, we're going to take a look at all of the SEC teams in the first round. We'll start with Alabama when we come back after SportsCenter.
After Further Review.
Hey, let me take 60 seconds and remind you about parish restoration. This is a good time of year to remind you about this as well, okay? Because I know when cold and flu season or COVID, starts going around right now, be it an office building, a school, a doctor's office, a gym, workout facility, and you want to sanitize, well, yeah, look, you can get, disinfectant wipes and try to wipe down stuff, but the most effective way to kill all of those harmful pathogens, like down to the spores, is with parish restoration. What they do is they spray a patented non-toxic dry fog. It's efficient, it's cost-effective, it's more effective as well. They'll come in, they'll spray, they'll close up all the windows, the doors, everything. They'll let that fog dwell, and as soon as it dissipates, boom, you're back in free, clear, clean-smelling, sanitized home, vehicle, office building, doctor's office. It's parish restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com.